Hare Krishna. Summary of Canto 4, Chapter 12. Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead. Learning that Dhruva's anger had subsided, Kuvera appeared and began to speak to Dhruva Maharaj. Kuvera addressed Dhruva as Anagha, sinless. He said, O sinless one, I am very pleased to know that you have given up your enmity, which is very difficult to avoid. Kuvera addressed Dhruva as sinless, but Dhruva might have thought himself otherwise because he had just killed many yakshas. Therefore, Kuvera wanted to reassure him. Kuvera said, Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor did they kill your brother. The eternal time feature of the Lord is the ultimate cause of both creation and destruction. But the bodily conception of I and you is like a dream, and it is a product of ignorance and misconceived intelligence. It is the cause of repeated birth and death. So please therefore worship the Supreme Lord, who is beyond sensory perception, who is the supersoul of all living entities, whose transcendental and form, his lotus feet, are most worshipable. He is without birth or death. He delivers us from material existence. Though Maya is his Shakti, he always remains aloof from Maya. Therefore, O Dhruva, please ask me for a benediction without any hesitation. We have heard that you are constantly engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord's lotus feet. Actually, simply by engaging in devotional service, one can have all the benedictions of the world without any special endeavor. However, being requested by Kuvera, this very highly elevated Mahabhagavata and intelligent Mahamatihi Dhruva asked for unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Lord, by which one can easily cross over the unsurpassable nescience. Although the King of Kings, Rajaraja Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, could have offered immense riches to Dhruva, Dhruva did not ask for such, knowing their insignificance. He already had an experience. Rather, he asked for the Panchama Purushartha, which is the topmost, which is the constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. The other point is that Kuvera was not an unalloyed devotee, and Dhruva was more spiritually advanced than him. Yet, Dhruva asked Kuvera for unbroken remembrance of the Lord. Why? Because of Manu's words. Manu had told him that the wrath of great personalities may affect the family. Therefore, Dhruva was very apprehensive that Kuvera's displeasure might act as an obstacle for his Krishna Smaranam. Now, Dhruva's request would naturally remove any lingering resentment on Kuvera's part due to Dhruva's offense. Kuvera gladly offered the benediction, and Dhruva returned back to his kingdom. Dhruva ruled gloriously. He performed great sacrifices and gave profuse charities. Dhruva worshipped the Supreme Lord, who is the master, objective, and the result giver of all sacrifices. He was engaged in unflinching bhakti to Lord Achyuta. Dhruva saw him situated in all beings and everything situated in the Lord. He was endowed with all godly qualities. He was respectful to the Brahmanas and kind to the poor. He was the protector of religious principles, and he was considered as the father by all his citizens. Dhruva ruled over Bhumandala for 36,000 years. He desired to diminish his pious results by enjoyment and destroy his sinful reactions by austerities. However, all this was external. Dhruva desired to enjoy the sinful reactions Dhruva desired to destroy the sinful reactions only out of his humility. Actually, he did not have any pious or sinful reactions since he had already developed prema. A devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress, but simply desires to execute bhakti. Dhruva thus passed many years favorably executing dharma, artha and kama. Therefore, he realized this world to be like a Gandharva city in a dream, a creation of Maya. Considering how the body, bodily relations, possessions, and kingly opulence will be affected by time, he handed over his kingdom to his son and retired to Badrikashram. Dhruva purified his senses and bathed regularly, practiced yama, niyama, asana, and so on, pranayama, breathing processes, withdrew his senses, pratyahara. He meditated on the Archa Vigraha of the Lord with Dharana and Dhyana, and he finally entered into trance samadhi. By his constant bhakti, Dhruva experienced incessant tears of bliss, melting of the heart, hair standing on the end, forgetting his bodily existence, freedom from the subtle body. When one attains liberation from not only the gross body, but also the subtle body, one is competent and fully prepared to be transferred to the spiritual world. At that time, Dhruva Maharaj then saw a beautiful airplane coming down from the sky, illuminating all directions like the full moon. In that plane, Dhruva saw two chief associates of Lord Vishnu, blackish, youthful, four-armed with reddish lotus eyes, holding clubs, dressed attractively, wearing helmets, necklaces, bracelets, and earrings. Seeing them, Dhruva stood up, but being bewildered, he forgot how to receive them properly. He simply offered his respects by folding his hands and chanting the holy names. Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing very humbly, absorbed in thinking of Krishna's lotus feet. Then Nanda and Sunanda, the associates of Lord Vishnu, began to speak to Dhruva. They said, "Let there be good fortune unto you. When you were only 5 years old, you pleased the Lord with your austerities. Now please hear us attentively." What was possible for Dhruva is actually possible for everyone by proper training in Krishna consciousness from childhood. Nanda and Sunanda said, "We came to take you. We are the associates of the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of all the universes and the holder of the Sharanga bow. We came here to take you to his abode. Please come and reside in Vishnu Loka, which is very rare to achieve, which is circumambulated by all planets and luminaries, which is attained neither by your forefathers nor by anyone else. The residence of Lord Vishnu is the highest of all. It is worshipable by all inhabitants of all the other planets. You are worthy to board this unique airplane, which has been sent by Lord Uttamashloka, who is the head of all living entities." Hearing these sweet words, Dhruva first took bath, performed daily rituals, accepted blessings from the sages, worshipped and circumambulated the airplane, and offered his respects to Nanda and Sunanda. He became effulgent as gold and prepared to board the airplane. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, so are his associates, paraphernalia, airplane, and abode. Everything of Lord Vishnu's is as good as Lord Vishnu himself. At that time, death personified arrived there. Dhruva placed his foot on the head of death and boarded the airplane. Drums resounded in the sky, Gandharva sang, and demigods showered flowers. As the plane was ascending, Dhruva remembered his mother, who first instructed him in achieving the Lord's favor. He thought, "How can I go to Vaikuntha leaving behind my poor mother?" Understanding Dhruva's mind, Nanda and Sunanda showed him in another airplane in which Suniti was also going. Suniti was the Pada Pradakshaka Guru for Dhruva Maharaj. Therefore, she was also taken to Vaikuntha. A father, a mother, a guru, although not very advanced in bhakti, can go to the spiritual world if he or she has a child or a disciple who strongly executes devotional service. Taking inspiration from Suniti, every mother should instruct and train her child to become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. On the way, while being showered with flowers by the Devatas, Dhruva saw many planets on his way to Dhruvaloka. Passing through the Bhuvar and Swargalokas, the airplane finally arrived at Dhruvaloka, the residence of Lord Vishnu beyond the planets of the seven sages. Dhruvaloka is situated above the sun but below Maharloka. Who is eligible to attain the Lord's abode? All the illuminating planets shine only due to the self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets. They are easily reached only by those who are merciful, who are working for the welfare of everyone, who's peaceful, equipoised, pure, able to please everyone, and they keep friendship only with the Lord's devotees. Thus, Dhruva, who was fully Krishna conscious, attained the crest jewel of the three worlds. The entire zodiac belt circumambulates Dhruvaloka with great speed, just as a herd of bulls circumambulate a central pole. Narada sang about the glories of Dhruva Maharaj at the sacrifice of the Prachetas. By his great austerities, Dhruva attained an exalted position not possible to attain even for strict followers of the Vedas, who are to speak of ordinary kings. They cannot even attain the method by which Dhruva attained the goal, who are to speak of the goal itself. Dhruva, aggrieved by his stepmother's harsh words, left for the forest at only 5 years of age. But he managed to conquer the unconquerable Lord with his devotional qualities. The position that Dhruva attained when he was 5 or 6 years old in the duration of 6 months cannot be attained by great Kshatriyas even after many, many years. So Maitreya said, "Thus I have explained the glorious life of Dhruva as asked by you. Great devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. Wealth, fame, longevity, heaven, Dhruvaloka, pure bhakti, greatness, good qualities, power and respects. All these sins and miseries will be diminished and the rest will be attained. One will surely attain all these great fortune when one listens to the story of Dhruva Maharaj. With great attention and care, in the society of Brahmanas or other twice born persons, without taking remuneration by persons who have taken shelter of the Lord before a favorable audience, one must recite the story of Dhruva Maharaj. When should we recite it? In the morning, in the evening, during full moon, dark moon, Dwadashi, the Shravana month, Kshaya days, Vyatipati days, at the end of a month or on a Sunday, this story can be narrated. And as a result of this chanting, both the reciter and the audience will become perfect. Those who, out of transcendental kindness, give this immortal knowledge to the ignorant automatically gain the demigod's blessings. Maitreya said, "Thus I have narrated the transcendental activities of the pure famous King Dhruva, who was a child who gave up home and toys to take shelter of Lord Vishnu." This ends the summary of Canto 4, Chapter 12, Dhruva Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.